Previously, we made a series of devlogs that tackles our skills in our skill tree system, and in this devlog, we will tackle the last part of the skills for our skeleton warrior. And by the end of the video, we will talk about what's next in the development of our reverse RPG game Wisplight. For those of you who are new here, my team and I are working on a reverse RPG game where you play as a wisp who can transform into different monsters to fight human invaders exploiting your island home. Yeah, we're playing as the monsters instead of the usual RPG game heroes. So if you're interested in the development of Wisplight, feel free to subscribe to get updates. So we have here our sprint speed, we have our sprint attacks, our absorb death essence, which we previously call shine Wisplight. Then we have our essence absorption, which determines how much essence we absorb from activating the absorb death essence skill. And lastly, our execute stab skill along with the damage modifiers for it. Let's start with our sprint speed. This is fairly simple. We just need to make a base sprint speed, which is 15 in our settings. Then we'll do an increment for each level of sprint speed node activated. So in our case, we have 5 levels of sprint speed. Then we'll increment 1 for each level, giving us a total of 20 speed for our skeleton. Let's compare a level 0 sprint speed to a level 5 sprint speed level. So you can see, the level 5 sprint speed is noticeably faster. And this is very important for our skeleton whose strategy shines in using hit and run tactics in battle. Next, let's tackle our sprint attacks. So I added an additional skill to it. I made a combo for our sprint attack. So now we have 2 levels for this skill. For level 1, it's just like this, a simple over the head strike. And for level 2, we added a slash combo similar to our dash attack combo. This way, we can land more hits when we are doing sprint attacks. Next, we have our absorb death essence skill, and we want this to have only 1 level, just to activate and toggle it. And this skill lets you absorb essence from fallen enemies. So the toggle for it will just disable the menu and the ability to gather essence from the enemies. And it will only show the menu if you have activated this skill on the skill tree. Next, let's tackle the absorption of the essence gathered from our absorb death essence skill. The higher the level of this skill, the more essence each particle gives. Let's compare a level 0 essence absorption to a level 5 skill. As you can see, the essence gathered from each particle is much higher than having a low level absorption skill. Essence is essential for the skeleton. Having low fortitude, we need to frequently restore our fortitude. This is the healing method for our skeleton monster type. We will be having different healing methods for each of our monster types. For example, our armor has an item that will help repair itself, and this item is limited to a fixed quantity that you can replenish when you go to one of your settlements. The armor also has a lifesteal type of healing. We decided to do this so that the combat gameplay for the armor is more engaging and will encourage the player to fight more enemies to repair its fortitude. I'll give more details on this in the future once we tackle the armor's development, so subscribe if you're interested in following the development of Wisplight. As for our tree creature, our monster will have a fixed fortitude per second regeneration skill that automatically heals the tree creature over time, but this also drains its essence automatically. Also, to compensate for the draining of the essence, we'll have a bonus skill that absorbs life essence from enemies that are killed by stealth finishers or execution attacks. This will encourage the player using the tree creature to do finishers and executions when approaching combat to replenish its essence. I'll discuss more of this in the future. Next, and the last skill will be our execute attacks. So for every monster type, we will have an execute attack that we can trigger if the enemy is stunned or if the enemy's poise is low. And for the skeleton, we have our execution stab skill, where the skeleton grabs the enemies and stabs it, dealing huge damage. So to add this to our skills manager, we just have to make a toggle for it and have the skeleton perform the execution if the skill is activated. And if not, we will just do a normal attack and the enemy will just break from the stun effect and get knocked away. Then let's add to our skills manager the damage bonuses for the execute stab attack. Let's compare the damage for a low level execute and a high level one. As you can see, for our higher level execution, we can instantly eliminate the guard, while our level 0 execution damage can't even eliminate a torchbearer. Alright, we've completed adding all chapter 1 skills for the skeleton warrior, but we still have some few remaining in our skill tree. Let's check them out. So all the green text skill nodes have been added already to our skill tree system, and what remains here are either for chapter 2 or the necromancer type skeleton. For example, We have here an ability for our skeleton to wear armor, which we will unlock in chapter 2 of the game once we learn how to conjure armor. Likewise, we have here an equip steel sword skill for the skeleton warrior, which we will unlock in later chapters of the game once we have the ability to produce steel for our weapons. Apart from that, we have here a different variant for the skeleton necromancer that specializes in summoning skeleton warriors to fight for you in battle. And this will be unlocked in later chapters of the game as well. For now, the main focus is to complete chapter 1. And finally, we made all the skills for the skeleton warrior. I'd like to thank all my patrons for supporting me in my game development journey. I could not have made it this far without your support. Also, our community in Discord is growing steadily, and we're currently having some community events in our servers. You also have some sneak peeks on works in progress by our team. So if you're interested in joining our community, I'll leave a link to our Discord server below. Also, Wisplight is already live on Steam and you can wishlist the game already. The next devlog, we'll make a series that tackles all about sound and music design. It will be a long series since music and sounds have a lot of topics and features to tackle. So see you in the next devlog where we make the foundations for our sounds, starting with audio listeners, the ears for our game system. Till next time.